good diving a little further here into like carbohydrates and nutrition and whatnot, and some of the general guidelines that kind of come up. Like obviously we've talked about percentages, right? But then there's also been a lot of literature and a lot of images that kind of come up to make it easier for people to kind of get a concept or understand how their diet, nutrition, and those things like should look, right? When I was a young kid, it was kind of like literally a pyramid, right? So the bottom layer was the biggest, and then the next layer, and the next layer, and the next layer, and the next layer. Like sugar's always kind of been at the top in terms of like don't eat a lot of sugar and saturated fats and whatnot. But it was always grains, and then fruits and veggies, and this, that, and the other, right? And the newest one that is actually put out by the USDA, so the United States Department of Agriculture, right? So farmers, which kind of funny, they leave protein real small, but the other parts are really big, like the things they're growing. But no, I digress. But this one's called myplate.gov. It's just an idea of like, hey, what should my plate look like, right? So a quarter of the plates, or less than a quarter, is kind of protein. You have vegetables and grains as a big part, and then a little like fruit kind of offsetting with the protein, right? So two things that are going to be polysaccharides, so good carbohydrate sources, fruits, which are okay in and of themselves, but they do contain some sugar, right? Like that fructose is kind of that sugar molecule that's the most frowned upon, if you will, right? But fruit has some other benefits to it, so it kind of offsets, right? And then you're gonna have like a dairy, like another protein source, another like again, you get into some disaccharides when you're talking about like lactose, right? So which we just discussed, but just to give people an idea of what their diet or what their plate should look like. Again, this is a lot better than just a simple pyramid where you're kind of guessing. Like this kind of says, hey, this is what your plate should look like. This much protein, kind of this much veggies, these grains, a little fruit, right? Something on the side. So more of a visual, and it seems to work well. And if you go to myplate.gov, they have a ton of cool resources for you to like dive into and really try to get some good ideas about your nutrition. So take a look.